This guy.
Oh, hey, Chris.
Oh, hey, Brandon.
Hey. All right. Goodbye. Goodbye, y'all.
This is the best intro we've ever had.
All right, see you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so Chris, you're of the Caucasian descent.
Am I?
I guess so, yeah.
Is that what this is?
I thought so, I didn't know.
Shit, I thought I was Arabic. Light-skinned Arab.
Yeah. And I also have a lot of other Gaijin Caucasian comrades, but you don't really hang out with many other Gaijin in Japan, do you?
I used to, but he went back to Kentucky.
Just the one or two.
Actually, it's kind of weird. For a while, most of my friends were black in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
And that's 2 people. So what does that say about...
That's like the Louis C.K. thing. Like, when things happen, you find out who your real friends are.
Turns out it's black people. Which, I'm going to say is pretty accurate.
So, shit, alright, where was I going with that? Okay. So, alright, yeah, I have a lot of white Gaijin comrades in here. And, when we all get to talking about Japan, we all have our, frustrations that we all voice out. But I always notice there was a certain thing and I was like, when I hear white people talk about Japan, I go, this feels very familiar.
Okay.
And I'm like, I figured it out. It's like, it sounds like a black guy bitching in America.
About who?
America and white people. You know how it is.
You guys don't like us?
Why don't you like us?
What have we ever done to you?
I don't know, man. I don't know. You stole the ice cream that one time, and we had the cooler water fountain, but you're like, first you're like, we need separate water fountains. Then our water fountain had colder water, and you're like, no. We need to share the water fountains again.
Is that what happened?
That's how it went down.
Is there any history majors that can confirm or deny that? I've never heard that.
I don't know, some history guy like, He's like starts eating his glasses. But it sounds like, I bitch about Japan too.
Yeah.
But I also bitch about America.
I do that too, though.
Man, but
that's why I left.
I'm like, these white boys. They
keep lending me money.
these Tom Sawyer white boys. It does sound like it's like, they are. It sounds like black people bitching about America. And now, and so we're going back, and now we're going to go into the. So I came up like, if you come from America to Japan, you are now the minority black.
Oh yeah, I knew that coming in though.
Yeah. Well, everyone says Gaijin, but it's like, oh no, wait. You are now treated like the minority black guy.
And I've always wondered, how does it work coming black from America to Japan? Is it about the same treatment, or is one a little better?
As a black guy, I would say socially, like in a way, it's like, it's hard to explain. Okay, so like socially, like, okay, all right. This is why it's controversial. Some people are like, well, it's not like that for black guys in America. But like, if you're black in America, you have to work, double hard to get up there.
Okay.
And so the same thing with Japan. It's like, okay, foreigner, I'm gonna have to work double hard to get up there. But then there's certain things I don't have to deal with. Like when I was living in Ohio for that bit.
Okay.
Some co-worker, he invited me to a poker game.
All right.
And so I was driving, and I went into this neighborhood, and I'm like, I had a feel, I was like, I don't belong here. And I was like, I should get the fuck out of here. I didn't get to the poker. This is like a different neighborhood, because I got the directions wrong, and it's just in that country area, and I'm like, oh shit, like, I don't need to see a sign to know that I gotta get the fuck out of here. Whereas...
Well, because...
It's just that, that Ohio country area. We were just like, nah, like,
Oh,
if
like
they see my black ass walking around
okay,
here,
okay,
I'm gonna get into some trouble.
okay, like country bumpkiny people.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Whereas in Japan, even if I go to places where I don't belong, I'm never like, I'm like, I would have to start shit for shit to go down.
Yeah,
Like,
that is one thing I do enjoy about Japan. I've never really felt threatened here.
yeah.
Like, I went back to America a few times. One time I was just talking to my dad. I was just like, there's no real chance of me getting shot in Japan. But even, like, white in Indiana, you don't know what crazy guy has a gun and he thinks, what's going... Why is this guy walking around at midnight? It's like, I'm just going for a stroll.
Yeah,
You don't got to kill me. So...
Yeah. And so then, like, some of the other white comrades would be like, they'll never accept you as Japanese and all that other stuff. I'm like, dude, you're American white. You shouldn't want to be Japanese. It's
but,
like,
yeah.
but I understand, like, when you're living in the culture, you want to be accepted,
Yeah, of course.
but you can't be accepted, so you have to learn how to
Deal with...
like, all right, I live here, I'll never be accepted,
Yeah.
and I have to deal with that.
Yeah. But, okay. I think that it's particularly annoying for me because, like, and it's like this doesn't... Okay, let me just explain it first.
Okay.
There's so many things we could talk about in one episode like this. Okay, but say you're Japanese moving to America.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be much easier for you to get in than for us to get in here.
Right.
And I don't like how we don't get the same treatment that someone... Let's say you go for, like, you're studying abroad.
Mm-hmm.
America's pretty accommodating, at least where I went.
Right.
Let's just say Asians as a whole.
Yeah.
None of them complained, like, we're being mistreated or anything. Everyone was like, oh, you got to go to the store? Here, I'll drive you. No problem. Like, or you need help with this? Okay, that's tricky. I'll help you.
Right.
That's not the case here. I have not had one Hoshonin. Actually, that's not true. My Okinawan friend helped me once, but that's Okinawa. That's different.
Yeah. And then just little other stuff like, so for example, if you're black in America and you go to a restaurant, they go, here we go.
Do they just out loud?
Yeah, sometimes.
Here comes Brandon again. He wants ice in his beer. We don't do that.
And you can tell sometimes you'll get a little shittier service because you're black and you got the stereotypes like, oh, you go to tip and all that shit. And so then for the reverse, like you say you go to restaurants, they're like, here comes this foreign guy. Is he going to know the menu? And it's like, so you got to deal with that same bullshit. Yeah.
But the difference here, I guess, would be like, I don't think there's any restaurants in America that would go up to, like, the black customers and go, you know you have to tip here, right? Is that the case?
The personality comes off and says that.
Okay. Because I'm just saying, like...
I remember I was working in a restaurant, and the black couple sit down, and the white waitress, she's like, I can't. I just can't. Can you take that table? I'm like, okay. And I was like, black couple. Okay, bitch.
But that's probably more of a woman thing than a white thing. Are they all like that?
It's all like that, man. I told you it's going to be controversial, man.
Which, 9 minutes in, we did not put any kind of warning.
Warning. Racial.
But
it's about to get Patrice O'Neal racial here.
But it's just like... It's annoying that this is a thing I can't stand about America now. You almost can't even talk about race now because people are so on the fence, like, oh, don't even mention. Where it's like, that doesn't solve any problems.
Yeah, you actually got it. You actually have to talk about it to solve it.
Yeah. So, all right. Are you a racist?
A little bit, yeah.
All right, me too. Good. I'm just making sure we're on the same page. I find that I think people are racist because, well, oh god, fuck. Do we want to get into why people are even racist? I think from my perspective, it's more of a I don't like a lot of this society where I'm like I almost don't really have a problem with people here. It's more of just like people acting how they think they should from what society's telling them. So, but it's,
yeah. That's exactly it.
Where it's like you could be cool, but when we're talking, something goes from something you maybe heard in school. They don't know Japanese. Then you go, oh, they don't know Japanese.
Yeah. It's the programming or conditioning or something. You're like, what the fuck, man? Just be
yourself.
Don't try to be that higher up, which you're not. Like,
yeah.
Because the people higher up, they look at you like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But you're going to look at me like a piece of shit because it just makes you feel a little better. It's like, what the fuck?
And
like I always said, I can't remember the most. If you're America and you're black, if you're going to deal with racism, it's going to come from some lower class person. I never had a rich person now maybe so subtly they did, but I never had a rich person do something blatantly racist.
Yeah.
But you see it all the time. The lower class, they're always doing blatant racist shit.
Yeah.
Same as in Japan, the higher ups, they're like, what fucking guy? Who cares a fuck?
Yeah.
But the people on that lower level at Eikaiwas and shit, they're relentless. You're like, I see what's going on.
And
I see.
I always thought it was stupid because sometimes you'll hear it is the uneducated, let's say white people. And I think a lot of times people actually talk very similar black and white, but then for some reason something kicks in where it's we're from the outside you're like, you guys are actually basically saying the same thing, but this white person is fucking retarded,
right, and
maybe this black guy.
We now go by charcoal. Charcoal motherfucker. Say charcoal man.
Listen, he held my feet to the fire. But I think a lot of times if you're black, you might hear someone say something and you're like, that's fucking racist.
Right.
And then you're like, I don't think that was. So that's another problem with racism where it's a lot of it's based on just complete misunderstandings. I remember one time, I forget if it was with you and Jeremy, we were eating at some restaurant and I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I go there and it's locked and I'm just standing there. I'm like, this guy's taking forever. And one of the waitresses walks by and she's like, oh, you gotta go to the bathroom? I'm like, yeah. And then she goes, knocks on the door and walks away. And I'm like, bitch! I'm like, this guy's gonna come out, see me, a big fucking white guy just standing, waiting, looking at him, and he's gonna be like, this fucking guy. And in Japan, there is no really explaining things. Because at work, they just want you, they don't want you to explain, they just want you to say, hi, wakarimasu. And I think that kind of bleeds into your life a little bit somehow. And it's just there's no way I could possibly explain to that guy, okay, listen, I was waiting here for a long time. The waitress walked by, knocked on the door, she left, and then now you're seeing me. So I was just like, fuck it, he's just going to have to hate me.
So did he come out and look at you?
Yeah. He came out while I was just standing there. I couldn't just walk away. That'd be really... But yeah.
Was the older guy? What do you...
He was our age.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah.
How about in your dating life? Do you feel like there is a
stigma?
There's a stigma, oh, it's a foreign guy.
Okay, I guess we should talk about from the woman's perspective first.
Okay.
Because when you're in Japan, you're dealing with Japanese women and you're dealing with men who also want to fuck them. And I've noticed recently, they don't want you anywhere near them.
They don't want you around them white girls, boy. Don't even touch her. No, I'm kidding.
Did he talk to you?
Yeah, actually.
Do I need to say something?
Have I heard something like that before here? I think.
From a Japanese guy?
Nah, like, I remember one time I was at a bar.
Yeah.
And there was two older bitches, maybe like high 20s. I was with the other group of gaijin friends.
How many gaijin do you know?
Man, I know a lot.
I got nobody.
I better run the block, man. When you have as many jobs as I had, you get around the block.
That's my problem. I've only had the two. Okay, so
my friend called her over, and they were feeling our group.
Okay.
And, like, they were sitting by themselves for a long time. No guy was talking to them.
All right.
But decent-looking girls, actually. Yeah. And then, so they're talking to our group. They're feeling it. Some Japanese guys walked by. I was looking at them. Because I was talking to the girls. I was just chilling.
Yeah.
He leaned into the girl and was like, "We talking these gaijin?"
Oh, really?
And I was like, I saw them. And she, good for her, she shoot his ass away. Because she was like, don't do that bullshit.
Okay.
But that is a thing, like, now he's already putting that stigma in her head, like, society's watching you, and you're this white girl with these black guys, or you're this Japanese girl with these gaijin. So it's like, and now she's like, do I want this to, because women want to fit in.
Yeah.
So she's like, do I want this stigma? Like,
but it's even to the degree of, I'm at a bar that I might not even ever return to. Yeah. No one knows me here. But if they see me walking out at the same time, they're going to go, oh no. But, yeah, so from the girls... Okay, let's start at Kansai Gaidai.
Alright.
I guess...
Oh, international college. I don't know if we want to go there.
Well, it's a good starting place.
Okay.
The foreigners were pretty popular with the girls, but only a specific sect. The Japanese girls didn't really have anything to do with us.
Yeah.
It was either I'm a hoe or I'm a gaijin hunter kind of guy.
Right.
Which is weird because it's like, this is a international college. Like, this is for you to meet foreigners, and you're still like, stick with my own. Why'd you come to this? Why'd you come to the school then?
But I think Kansai you can pay to get there, so as long as you pay the cash.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of students also weren't. How should I say this? They didn't test into. They didn't test into real colleges.
And it's Japan, so they didn't really test out either.
They didn't test.
I mean, let's be honest.
They didn't really test.
The requirements to graduate here are the highest. But
I have one student. I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I gotta write this paper." She's like, "I'm doing English literature." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "How many pages?" It's like, "It's gotta be 25." And I'm like, 25. I don't know about that. And she was like, "Oh yeah, 25." I'm like, double spaced. She's like, "Nope, not double spaced." She's like, "Yeah, well in Japanese you have to do way more pages." I'm like, "What's going on here?" Because I knew she was bullshitting.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how. She's like, "Oh well, you can add graphs and stuff." And like, a full page for graphs? She's like, "Yeah." So I'm like, "All right."
Well, how many graphs you got?
But like, why wouldn't you say that in the fucking beginning? And like, don't make it sound like you're writing a 25-page paper.
Yeah.
When you're not.
Yeah.
You're writing a 5-page paper and giving me pictures and shit, bitch.
But let me give
badass grammar. I corrected her. It took me goddamn a whole hour to correct 2 goddamn sentences. It was that bad. All right, go ahead. What are you saying?
But okay, I'll give an example from. This is from just not even a dating perspective. Just a friend I had. I was just walking around and there was like a music club or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I know this girl," and we're talking, and she was like, "Yeah, there's gonna be a concert, like my band's playing," and then she was in like 5 bands or something, and I was like, "Oh, hey, that's cool. Like I play drums, you play all these instruments. Is there some way I can get in this club and and play with you guys? That'd be really fun." And she's like, "No." I'm like,
hit that shit.
I'm like, first of all, we're.
What are you doing?
He's trying to give me crack.
Go ahead. First of all,
I don't even remember where we're going.
The girl with the band.
Oh yeah, But she was just like, no, you can't play with us. And I'm like,
It's like the kids in the sandbox.
I'm like,
You can't sit with us.
I'm like what?
Yeah.
She's like, why don't you play with the foreigners?
Like,
I'm like, I don't think they play instruments. Like, this is the club for musicians. And she's like, nah, I don't think you can join. I'm like, that's really fucked up. Where it's like, I guarantee you I'm a better drummer than all these guys here. But it's just weird where you're like, and it's almost annoying to complain about because that's not even close to the same level as getting lynched.
yeah, that's all. Yeah, white boys, you are not black. Don't get excited.
He just said we were, and then he's like, I'm taking your card away. Give it. The black man giveth and taketh away.
Kids taking the card away. You had a beige card. You didn't have the charcoal card.
It is funny when some students notice how white I am. They're like, what the fuck? Where's your color? I'm like, it's right here. And they're like, that's not a color.
Oh, shit.
Goodness gracious. So sometimes racism's funny. Like, I don't know.
It's always funny.
It's always...
If wielded by the right users.
I guess that's my problem. Japanese aren't very deft with their racism. They're just so like...
Has there ever been a good Japanese racist joke? When I say racist, I just mean any gaijin joke where it's like, okay, that was legitimately funny. Like, I don't think so.
Well, do you like sushi? They always come here and they're eating our sushi.
There's gotta be like one like comedian that's like, he makes foreigner jokes, but they have to be legitimately funny. Like, all right, okay, we'll give that.
You'd have to find a funny Japanese comedian.
You know that one guy that always just stands on TV and he mugs? He's the funniest. What?
Talking about Takeshi?
Why? Now there's others too that just sit there and they just mug. I'm like, what the fuck? Like this guy's fucking funny. He's just looking pissed off. I'm like,
I still don't know what that man that dresses like a woman even does. He just kind of goes, and they're like, oh, that's hilarious. Anywho, dating.
Dating. So when you were
what? Okay, so in Kansai Gaidai, I felt that's college, so that's a big enough population where if you're talking to a girl, no one's really getting
right. And there's so many foreigners that it's like,
yeah, we could take you all on.
Yeah.
Nah.
I mean, what was that? That ICC room was just basically like clear glass window. You look in like at the zoo, like
oh.
Girls, I want to fuck that monkey right there. And the Japanese girl, walk in like, I'm here for the monkey sex.
Interesting. Too bad I didn't take advantage of that. Yeah, okay, so college, you're really not going to have any real problems other than...
Before we leave college, remember that guy that used to always, like, work out? He had a really nice body, but he was
black guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my friend. She was his speaking partner.
Yeah, I remember.
And,
I went to the gym once, and he was, like, hitting, like bodybuilding poses. I was like, oh.
In the mirror.
Yeah, I was like, what's he doing?
And I remember that girl I was friends with, she was like, this is my speaking partner. I'm like, yeah, the big muscular guy. She's like, yeah, he's fucking ripped. And she's like, it's almost like too much.
I wonder what he's doing now. I wonder if he is like a professional competitor.
Probably just an accountant.
Hello. Hey, damn, heads are too small. It's like,
can you staple his papers? They're really thick.
He's like trying to put his finger out. Just give me the staple. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So I think foreigners can actually. That's probably your best place to meet women.
The gym?
No, college.
Oh.
But you should go when you're 30 because your brain is better than when you're 22.
You know what to do.
Okay, outside of college. We already talked about a lot of this because, like, if if you're in America and you meet a girl who's Japanese, there's obviously no stigma there. They want to meet.
Right.
They really want to meet a white guy who'll marry them and let them live in America.
Please just give me that visa. Nope.
And then I don't know how much is cock blocking foreigners and how much is just young men failing at talking to women by themselves, so they kind of have to get in on someone else's conversation, really. I told you, but they don't know about it. Me and Jeremy were at the park. There was like a group of, I don't know, 9 girls. Which, me and Jeremy with 9 girls, that was kind of interesting. And I was talking to one, it was going okay. Then I was like talking to the hot one of the group, and I was like, okay, this is going pretty good.
Right.
And then this guy came over. He was probably 21-ish. And he starts trying to give her a drink. And I was just like, just ignoring him, basically. Like, this is ridiculous. Out of 9 girls, there's 1 me and 1 Jeremy. So that leaves 7 girls for you. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
And he was just failing on all levels. But then, like, I was still talking to her. It was going good. And I had to go to the bathroom. Came back. She was gone. And then I came back, and that guy was like, where did... I don't know what... Yuki or something. Where'd Yuki go? Where's Yuki? And her friends are like, she left. And he's like, is she coming back? I'm like, motherfucker, you scared her away. So I don't know if that's a just...
So, all right, so the game question, but all right, I'll come in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, your question is like, would he have done that?
To a Japanese group.
Yeah.
No.
And here's also the thing, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing. You never know. You're like, is that because I'm black? Or is that just because he's this kind of guy?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you're stuck with that thought all the time now. Like, is this because I'm gaijin? Or is this guy just an asshole?
Well, yeah.
Because I've met a lot of people who are like, Japanese people look like, oh, that guy's being a fucking dick. But you're like, is it because he's a dick? Or is it because I'm foreign, black? Is she just a fucking cunt? Or is it because... And you can never get away from it. It's permanence.
Yeah. That's not something you can really ask either. Like, hey, are you
you
cock-blocking me?
You know, was it Tom Segura thing? Are you coming? You remember that joke?
Kind of.
He was like he was like talking about the Japanese guy. He's like, hey, I saw that. And the Japanese guy went, you don't remember?
Oh, that was from his latest special, right?
Nah. It was
Tom, if you're listening, please let us know in the comments.
it was before the latest.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like, this Japanese guy looked at the Filipino guy, and he had
a disgusting... was that the rank?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Tom's like, hey, I saw that. And the Filipino guy just went, no, I mean the Japanese guy just went.
Yeah.
And Tom's like, I'm gonna use that. You know, when you go to a restaurant and they're there, you're like, okay, we'll get it to go. You know. But yeah, that's the thing. You never know.
Yeah.
And that can be a annoying feeling. Like, I never know.
Yeah, and it would just be nice to know. Well, yeah, okay. So, okay. So, what do you think? Because
are we talking girls, or are we going on a different topic?
Just a little bit more on girls.
Okay.
That's another thing where it's like, I think it would be way easier to, let's say you're just trying to take a girl home.
Right.
You meet at a bar. It's going to be way easier in America to take a Japanese girl home.
Okay.
Because, okay.
Are we talking about Japanese girl in America or just any race woman in America?
Let's just stick Japan to America.
Okay.
But.
You made it a little spicy? Go ahead. I'm with you.
But this is where... Okay, this is kind of off topic. But this is where I think America has so many problems racially. But it helps to actually have more than one race living in your country. Because it's less...
Go on, listen.
I don't know what he's doing.
Go ahead.
Because, like... When you have so many races, it takes one pressure off of someone who's like, oh, is everyone staring at me?
Right.
But it just becomes more normal where it's like, here it's like, we're talking to a gaijin right now. So I have to ask him all these weird questions that I wouldn't ask a normal Japanese person.
Right.
But in America, it's just like, okay, we get so many people all the time who either live here or just coming to visit or coming to do whatever, that it's kind of just natural now. So I think there's probably less stigma against, well, I don't know, because you get really racist people.
This is true. Well, all right, let's go. I hear what you're trying to say. Let me help you out.
Okay.
Let's go to a coast, like West Coast or East Coast, where there's let's talk New York City.
Yeah.
Let's not talk in the mid. Let's talk, all right, go, say what you're saying.
Okay.
But let's go with New York City.
Okay, so to make it easier.
Yeah. We know the middle. All right, so
that's where I'm from too.
So go with New York City. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Say what you're trying to say. But
so
say we live in New York City.
Okay, so white guy in New York, Asian girl is at a bar. They're hitting it off. He's like, "Hey, you want to go back to my place?" Okay, but here, white guy in Japan meets a Japanese girl. It's like, "Hey," which is funny because I live right here. There's so many bars where they always ask you where you live, and I'm like, I literally live 20 seconds away.
Which I'm still questioning, so I'll just say I'm just visiting sometimes.
I think that's actually better. And say my Airbnb is right here.
Just a lot looks like someone lives here. What's Airbnb?
Yeah, then you have to explain.
Hey.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But there's so many times where you say, "Oh, I live 20 seconds away," and you can see the girls thinking, like, "Oh, okay, that's interesting." And you can tell she's thinking like I'm kind of digging this guy. But then you're like, but she's also thinking like, no, everyone can see me.
Right.
So,
also to hop on another girl thing, like I was saying this to you before, like 2 days ago. I was like, yeah, you know, like how sometimes you'll see the black guys in America with like the fat white women.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, so like, and so in Japan you'll see the gaijin guys. With not fat, but usually, like, sometimes the women you'll be like, yeah, I can tell that, I mean, she can still get a Japanese guy, but she can't get the Japanese guy that she wants. Like a big, when you see the black guys, will be like, oh, she can't get the white guy that she wants. So she chose, like, this really skinny black guy for some reason.
Well, I think that's a misunderstanding, too. I think there's just fat white bitches that just dig black guys.
Get through the meat, get in there. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's okay. It's like, I see, like, so you said, all right, I'm just going to bypass the lower class Japanese guys and just jump to a whole different ship.
Oh, okay.
Which is, it's still annoying either way. I remember I was at a bar by myself this day, and there was one of those Japanese women that's still okay looking, but over the hill.
Yeah.
And so I was so there's a bunch of like 4 suited up Japanese guys, but not like these guys are big time businessmen, just
okay.
They just have suits on. Standard.
Yeah,
Because when you live in the city, everyone has a suit on. So just because you have a suit on doesn't make you a boss out here.
It's almost the opposite, really.
Yeah, when I say boss, I'm not talking about actual. I'm talking about like it doesn't give you that manly feeling. It's like
on the flick of the wrist.
Yeah. It's like these guys are just bitches,
Yeah.
And so like I can tell like none of these guys are getting laid.
Yeah.
So we talk, and I'm like, oh hey, what's up? They're like, hey, what's up? And the older chick and her friend there, and they're like, oh, you should go with him. I'm like, what? Like. And what you know about Japanese, just not Japanese men, but men in general, they're not going to give up a piece of pussy like that. But they're like, you exchange line. Yeah, you too. And I'm like, no, like, nah.
To the guy, like, hey, cut it out.
Yeah, but but that too, but also like, I know what y'all saying, oh, she's lower, so you should go with the foreign guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If she was, I almost said 18, there wouldn't be 18 at a bar. 21.
21 or
Or
something.
20 here, but
If she was better, if she was younger and
if she
tighter
was 20,
looking.
they'd be like, oh, so
Yeah. But they were like, no, come on, yo.
Yeah.
And then that's another story. Man, how many years
I
ago
got
was
one
this?
too, so.
Hold on, let me get this one more out.
Yeah.
I was at a bar, just talking to some Japanese guys,
Yeah.
and I was actually lying. So I was talking to this guy, and I was like, yeah, we're talking about bitches, because, that's what we talk about.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I got a couple of sex friends. And he was like, yeah, how old? I'm like, I wasn't getting any pussy at this time. But I was like, 23. And he looked at me, he was like, really? Now, is that such a crazy thing to fucking say? Like, so what he was saying was, who's this? Well, he was saying, like, I don't know many 23-year-olds that are going with the Negroes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, no, I see foreigners with older bitches.
Right. Okay.
But a foreigner with a 23-year-old?
Yeah.
So then he actually invited me to, that actually got me invited to, like, the Go-Con.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like, I want to see what he can do. And this wasn't an attractive guy either. He was not attractive. Well, he wasn't ugly, but, like...
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay. You about this? Did you have another story like that, you said?
Yeah, I mean, we can skip it. It's basically the same. It's the same as yours.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
All right, so I don't remember if I talked about this on here. The older lady I was not seeing, but talking to at the bar in Awaji.
Okay.
So that was the one where, like, it's clearly a cougar situation where she's like, "Why don't you come to this bar that we both go to on the weekends?"
Right.
And she would, like, buy me food, buy me drinks and whatnot.
Right.
And then, like, I got there one night, and then she was talking to some Japanese guy, and I guess they knew each other somehow. And, like, he wouldn't, like, I got there, and so he must see, like, boom, boom. Oh, okay, there's something, like, it's a date or something going on. But he just wouldn't leave. And we were all talking, the three of us. I'm like, okay, this is fine. And then it gets to that time where it's like, all right, last train, we all gotta go.
Right.
And then and for some reason during the night, it's the same as what you were saying, where it's like, why don't you go home with this foreigner? And the girl's like, oh, I can't. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And it's like, dude, just knock it off. But so that makes me think that there is a stigma where they're like, some random Japanese guy can all of a sudden come out of nowhere and be like, no, foreigner, you're a Japanese.
All right.
But, I mean, I don't know.
Welcome to blackness. Or beige this. I'm holding your card. Holding that card tight. All right, let's go off women.
Thank God. I'm so sick of women.
So, I mean, of course, like, we talk financial and housing and stuff.
Okay.
All right, so when you were getting your house or your apartment,
yeah,
was it a more of a struggle than it should have been?
Only because Japan has, like, stupid, like, rules for getting apartments. That's the thing that I think, other than the Hoshoni, we're not really treated too much differently. Other than the fact that they have to ask when they call, they're a foreigner, is that okay?
Well, I mean...
Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, it is fucked up. I mean, at least in America, if you're black, they'll at least pretend like there's some other reason.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like a credit issue or
something. Like, there's a credit issue here. They won't go straight up like, you accept these black people. They're like, oh, no, credit. He got the Jordans on from 2 years ago. I don't know if you can really afford the rent here. But yeah.
Okay, is there another area that's, like, different or same black from Japan to America? I wouldn't know.
I mean, you're the white voice here. So what else annoys you about Japan?
Just everything. And here's the thing I've been wanting to say, like, I actually don't dislike living here.
Right.
It's just I hate living in this country. I don't know how to explain it properly. Where it's like, because I was thinking, I think I was just like a Monday or something, like just walking around or something. Like, this is really nice. Like, this is a good place to live. I got a nice apartment. They have a fucking Nintendo Switch I'm rocking out on.
And then there's that goddamn Trump supporter with the Magna hat on. My day was going just fine.
But it's just like, it's hard to separate Japanese people from society is getting to be my biggest problem. And I've been listening to a lot of Patrice lately where he's talking about blah, 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 white people. And then everyone's always like, that's not how white people act. And he's like, that's the culture of it. And then that really helped me kind of understand, like, okay. Because it's like, I definitely don't hate Japanese people. But it's like, but I happen to live in Japan, which is 99% Japanese people. And then that means I'm getting the people's society that I came into.
Right,
so it's like that's a big struggle where it's like, who do you get angry with?
Yeah, so it's like how Patrice says, like, when I say whites, I don't mean you.
Yeah.
I mean the institution of white.
Yeah.
So like with like black guys in America, it's like, no, I got my best friends are white, but it's like the institution of whiteness.
Yeah.
And that's how you feel in Japan. It's like, nah, I'm cool with Japanese, but the institution of whiteness, and when they use that institution, you're like, fuck, come on, man.
Where it's like the human side is fine, but then at some point you'll just notice the Japanese society kicks in, and you're like, this conversation is just worthless.
Right.
Like, where it's like, can you just... But this might also be a white-black thing, too, where it's like, can you just talk to me like I'm a person?
Man, that's what it is.
And I don't give a shit about Ichido.
I
I didn't know about him till I came here.
You ain't know about him? Come on, Chris.
And all of America loves Ichiro. He's a Japanese... And it's like... That's the thing where it's like, do they not know that the rest of the world doesn't give a fuck about what they do and who plays baseball from their country?
He is pretty big, though. He's pretty big, Chris.
Is he?
Yeah, he's pretty big.
I'm sorry. I know McGuire and Sosa. That's about it. But I gotta say, it is definitely weird going from majority to minority.
Yeah.
Although I'm a man, so is that more than 50%? How does that go?
Well,
is there more men?
You confused me with the majority shit.
Is there more men than women? Because I might still be.
Who cares about women, man? We talk about race here, man. We ain't talking about sex.
I don't know.
We'll set that podcast when it comes.
All right, but it is definitely weird because it's weird going from being a majority who isn't racist to being a minority who's treated with racism.
All right. Well, I mean, that's the difference between the majority and minority. Well, you just described it.
Well, I know, but it's just like it'd be different. It would be different if I was racist and then I came here and learned some lesson or something. You know, like, does that make sense?
I hear what you're saying, but you're making it too complicated. But I think but that's the whole point is that, like, no, I think it's actually better because you're not racist, so when you come you're like, what's going on, and then it might take you a while. That's why I wanted to bring the subject up to the other white guys, like, because you're not racist, but like there's other people that aren't racist. They're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Because if you were racist, you'd be like, so this is the tables, but nah, you're not. Okay. So you're like, I feel a certain way, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, interesting. Just to expand the mind a little bit.
I think it also doesn't help that me and you are fairly intelligent.
Yeah.
Or maybe some other, let's just stick with Americans, are still like, it's like, you live here for like 5 years and you didn't pick up on anything?
Shit, man.
Like,
some of these people are like,
but
just left out the society.
Yeah. Do you think we're even really a part of society though here?
Nah. I mean, I don't know if we're going off topic here, but nah, like that's the one thing. Like, if you come to Japan, you're a lot of. Here's the thing. I think we probably said this before, but always good. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people say, Japan's super safe. Is it safe, or are you just invisible? Or people are just like, just leave him the fuck alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Japan's so friendly. Is it friendly, or are you just invisible?
Yeah.
And when you start thinking about it, you go more like, I think I'm invisible. Like, I don't think it's
Yeah.
because if you talk to if you can get the fucking truth out of people,
Which 5 years I'm still trying to find that.
like if you say, "Hey, do you go down this street?" If they're feeling the truthful mood, they'll be like, "Oh no, that's place a little dangerous."
Yeah.
But of course, if you're just, "Oh yeah, I just walked down there," it's like they're like. But if you get the truth, they're like, "Oh no, there's a lot of drugs and violence down that street."
Or like they'll skate around the Yakuza issue.
Yeah.
We were talking about something recently in Hyogo. There was a shooting, and my manager was like, "It was a this kind of guy." I'm like, "What does that mean?" She's like, "This kind of guy." I'm like, "What does that mean?" She's like, "He's a Yakuza." I'm like, "Oh, so you could have just said that from the beginning."
Funny, for a nation that doesn't want to admit that Yakuza are still around. If you joke about it, they'll look at you.
Yeah.
If you say, Yakuza, they're like, can you stop? I'm like, oh, is there a Yakuza around? They're like, oh, what's that? Oh, I'm Yakuza. They're like, I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on here? These two things don't add up.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's just weird coming in, like, I don't even know what I was going to talk about next.
Yeah.
Do you got any advice for me?
Just accept your blackness.
So I get the card back?
Not yet. You get a beige card. You gotta. Not to you. Have you been harassed by the police yet?
No, but I don't think Japanese police really harass people.
Nah. All right. Well,
Have you?
Nah. But I have a friend that said he has, but he's kind of fucking crazy, so I can't really give him that. I mean, he ran from a cab fare and just ran.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that one.
He just ran.
You're still friends with this guy?
He's a nice guy.
He's just a crook.
He's just crazy, but he's super nice. But he'll make you laugh, but he's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this whole topic is like, it's something you really don't want to talk about, but it's something you have to, because like on YouTube, I think there might be only 2 other YouTube channels that like complain about Japan. One guy's Australian, and he's like, "These bloody fuckers are all shite." I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
right.
And then like there was one guy who I felt bad for the Japanese in this video. He looked kind of crazy. And the video starts with him like screaming at some elderly people. He's like, "Talk to me in Japanese. Don't try to talk to me in English." And they'll look back like, "Okay, we were just trying to be friendly." And he was like, "These people are so racist. They refuse to talk to me in Japanese, and I force them." And I'm like, "All right, buddy, like calm down."
I think the hardest thing we have to do is we have to elevate our status and get up just a little higher, because everyone that's on YouTube, they're all teachers. It's like,
yeah,
like, you know how like like how AMS he already was making money before he started the YouTube thing.
Yeah,
so that's how we have to get. We have to not 6 figures, but we have to get out of
6 figures in Japan wouldn't be that high, would it?
I don't know. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, we have to get out of English teaching and get a little higher. So when people hear us speak and they're like, okay, they're not the typical 2 foreigners that in English bitching about stuff. They're like, oh, they actually have.
And I wonder if that is the main reason we're kind of unhappy living here, is because, which we talked about this off the air, but it's just like, the longer you live here, it's like, okay, these companies that do English, they're there just to make money. They didn't have any plans to teach English once they started the business. And then the curriculum, I feel like, is 100% just to embarrass us. Because you're like, all right, the Japanese teachers are teaching them grammar, vocab, how to take these Aiken, how to take not JPT, but like all these tests. And then you're like, I'm just dancing and singing songs. You're like, how does that teach English? But
and actually, you know me, I don't like English teaching, but I will say I was a guy, way older gentleman.
Yeah.
He after work, because we started bitching about the same fat bitch at work, and it's always fun like when you like find the coworker that hates all the same shit you do. You're like, what? And so, but he did say, he was like, hey, look, man, like, okay, it might be the best job, but you still got some skill doing this. Don't sell it that fucking short, because like, there's a lot of people that couldn't do this shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the fucking job.
Too.
Yeah, me too. I've met some people like, oh shit, you want to be like, it's not that. I mean, okay, it's an entry level drug, but it's not that fucking easy. And,
no, it's not.
And a Japanese person definitely would not go to America and do the reverse. It's a motherfucker. It's not easy.
Yeah,
like they would. It's definitely a. We're getting some. It's definitely a skill. It's not some random shit.
But this is what I've learned literally this week, where I was just like we have kind of a basic outline for what we're supposed to do, but at some point I was just like, just gonna fucking have fun with these kids. And I was just, and this is a class that they're always kind of loud. Last year they used to at least enjoy it and like talk and have fun with you. But this year has just been no. Can you get out of your book? No. I'm like, what happened in 1 year? But then literally, like, I think it was today actually, I was just like, fuck it, let's just have fun. And they were all paying attention, like, oh, English is fun again. I'm like, okay. So it clearly is just this structure that makes it so bad. But the structure's just there to make us look bad in the first place.
It's kind of like, man, if I'm a clown, just let me be full-time clown. Shit. It's just...
Right.
Like, let's not try to...
Don't pretend...
Don't have a clown try to act like he's the boss. Like, just...
That would be kind of interesting.
It's like, hey, just say, there's Bobo, go play.
Yeah. So, it's like... I think we talked about this just with each other, where it's like, they want to parade us out. We have these Americans.
Right.
We brought them in. They're going to teach your kids English. And then, like, the doors close and they're like, all right, fucking dance for us. You're like, what happened to all this English teaching? Like, no.
Just dance around. Don't you want them to learn English? Learn what?
Learn English.
Learn English.
They're going to work at Sony. They don't need to speak English. Like, you'll have to. I don't know.
It's funny. The girls, the girls that I taught two girls, they're like, I'm an English major, English literature. I'm like, oh, what kind of job you going to do? Flight attendant? I'm like, what?
You're going to be reading Shakespeare to the passengers?
It's something else, like, or... I was like, that was the only two options for majoring in English? Like,
yeah.
So it's like, your country doesn't even respect it then.
No,
if that's the best you can do is just flight attendant, then...
And here's something really fucked up. Where it's like, where they consider English kind of to be mocked and like a joke.
Yeah, it is.
So I was dating a Japanese girl in America, and then we broke up and we both just ended up back in Japan. And I heard from my friend, like a mutual friend, she got a job working at a Japanese company, and they were...
Go ahead.
They were like, can you speak English for us? She's like, what? They're like, go ahead, just speak some English. And she's like, they don't know any English, so like, why am I just speaking English on command for them?
Right.
Like, she actually had like a breakdown, because like every day they'd be like, hey, go speak some more English for us. And like they had like a big ceremony or something, and they're like, all right, stand up and sing some English. And like I'm just like a I think I don't remember what she was doing, like a counselor or something. It's like, that has nothing to do with my job. Why are they just, it's like they're just mocking me, like, go.
Right.
So, ever since I heard that, I was like, what? Like, that's so fucked up. And for no reason other than just to make themselves feel better.
I don't know why knowing another language is such a fucking joke.
Yeah, you should be impressed. But, I don't know.
You talk to a Swiss person, like, you speak how many languages? That's cool.
Yeah,
in Japan, it's like, I don't know English. I remember that time we were at that rock bar and the half white, half Japanese guy was like, I don't know English. And like, and that's why you work at a fucking bar. You better learn that shit. Like,
yeah.
But hey.
Yeah. It's annoying that we have to talk about this subject, but it's like, it's more annoying to go on YouTube and just see everyone praising Japan.
Right, because then you come with the false narrative. Oh, I remember, I was hopping where you're saying, like, our status. Yeah, like, this is gonna be weird, but, like, for some reason, anytime I have the money to go out and eat at a nice place, I just always feel better.
Yeah, of course.
So, like, I had money, and I was on break. I gotta take you to that Mexican place in Fukushima. We'll go there when I get paid.
Oh, there's two Fukushimas. One had a nuclear reactor accident. The other one's in Osaka.
Yeah.
They just love naming things the same. It's just a coincidence.
Yeah, so it was just, but the whole area.
Hold on, now I'm thinking of nuclear Mexican food. Yes, your tortillas are here. These are glowing green. Yes, that's the guacamole.
And so, like, it was just a nice area, and I think I just got paid, so I had the money just to like enjoy eating with no worries, and
yeah,
I just felt good. And I was like, if we could just get out of the pit that we're in and just get to that next level, we'll feel much better.
Yeah, and I thought that too, but it's like I don't really think that's possible sometimes. Where I'm like,
it's like, who do we know that's done it? Like, I need to see one person do it so I could go, okay, I can do it.
Yeah.
It's like, who's done it?
And a lot of problems with that are where you even ask Japanese people, is it, like, does your company have any positions that require some English skill? And they're like, no, why would we? And then you're like, well, okay, I'm just, like, keeping track of this. Like,
right.
So this guy says, Panasonic, there's no need for English here. Sony, there's no need for English here.
This is Panasonic and Sony we're talking about. It's like, how? Not one?
Yeah, and it's like, but you guys do international business, like, all the time. It's like, we just fake it. Like, all right. So
it's like that meme you made with the 3-5 guy.
Yeah.
English ALT.
Yeah. ALT. Kindergarten English teacher. But, yeah.
All right, well, I guess we're... All right, we're going on topic. All right, boys. Hope you enjoyed it. Do not tell other people... Yeah, I did not give you... Brandon did not give you no black card. Don't say nothing if you get... Do not go, no, Brandon said... I got the black... I did not give no goddamn black card.
Next time you visit America, they're like, Brandon, did you fucking give out all these goddamn cards we gave you? You fucking piece of shit.
I only got 60 to give.
They give you 60?
60,
You
man.
can't even go one? Jesus Christ, man.
They're rare though. You can't replenish them. You can't replenish. I already used 8s.
You know what? Like Pokemon cards, they should sell race cards. You open the pack and you're like, white. The gold and black.
Oh shit, that would be a funny ass comedy sketch. We gotta do it.
Put it on NHK and they'll be like, we don't put foreigners on TV unless we're making fun of them. All right, anything we want to say before we wrap this up?
I'm good. Catch y'all later.
I'm not so good, so I mean, drop us a comment, make me feel better.